think I'm actually going to touch this up a wee bit. Just a wee bit. While we're talking. That means I got to move my computer. So, guys, I know that it's weird. Like, I will go live at 7 some days, and I go live at noon some days, sometimes 7. It's because I don't have a set filming schedule. So my question for you guys is, would you guys like me to try and come up? I mean, it'd be hard because I don't live my life by a schedule. It's one of the things that it's one of the things I truly appreciate about being retired from the military is I don't live my life by a schedule. I do what I want when I want. It's one of the things about owning a business. Now there are requirements for it. You know, I have things that I have to do, and I have timelines that I have to keep, and there's requirements and rules and things like that. I mean, there are things that I can do, but the flip side of that is I don't live my life by a set schedule. See, you got the badge that's really colored in. But the problem is, like, I mean, some days my daughter and I go skate in the morning. Sometimes afternoon she skates. So I live a really weird lifestyle. I really do. And I apologize if it makes it difficult for you guys to catch live feeds. So, oh, I did get your message on Instagram, and I've seen those knives, but I mean, there's nothing really new in the knife world, so it gets to a point where like people like, "Oh, stole my design, you copied this, it's an exact duplicate of this." You reach a point where there's just so many knives that are so similar that there's just no way to say. Wait a second, guys, this is one of those Ember Shirt Co designs. This is not my design, this is their design. See how it doesn't have the crazy sharp logo on it? But this is a really nice design, and you can get to it through my affiliate link. I just wanted to point that out. Like, you guys are seeing me wear this. This is their native hook design. I like this shirt a lot. So, there's so many designs. Originality is hard. It is. It is. I had people trying to tell me that this is a knockoff of a, well, you just knocked off the Cold Steel Tough Blade. And I was like, first of all, this is a fixed blade. Second of all, how you figure creative with that one. Hang on a second, I put this in my computer case. Oh, I'm coming, guys. I'm coming back. Just didn't get this done. There we go. Can't have my computer. Where did everybody go? I walk away for a second. It went from 9 to 6. And here's the other thing. YouTube's weird. YouTube's been acting up lately. Yesterday's video that I uploaded went up, and then it said it was incomplete, and I was like, you just told me it was complete. And then it was finished, and then I got the notification that it was incomplete, and then I got another notification said that it was processing, and I'm like, what in the actual hell is going on with my upload? Because I shot a video yesterday, I was trying to upload it, and it was weird. It just didn't want to. Yeah, it's still processing the 4K. You can watch it; it'll be in 1080p. But I shot that one in 4K because it wasn't a real long video. Some of the first impressions videos are shorter, and I can get away with uploading them in 4K. They don't take up as much space as the ones like the 15-minute videos. Those are only going to be in 1080p. I can't do them in 4K because they eat up so much space and they use up so much. We only have 1,000 gigabytes per month at this house. I'm gonna call AT&T and see if I can up that, because it's just we already used it, so they're not gonna charge me this month when I go over, but if I go over next month they will. And I'm like, that's not gonna work for me. Like, I upload videos daily. And that's the thing I was gonna say. Most people can't tell the difference. Where's my 600 grit? 600 grit is right here. Let's do a quick 600 grit touch up on this Norseman. It is dark this morning. Good thing I really don't need light for what I'm doing. I cut down a ton of cardboard with the Norseman yesterday, and it held up really well, but it's just not where I want it. So we're just gonna touch the edge up. I'll probably just give it a quick 600 grit touch up and then just leave it. How's my foot going? It hurts. I went to the gym with the kid this morning, and her knees hurt, so she only got like, no joke, she only did like 15 minutes on the exercise bike before her knee started hurting, and I was like, cool, I'm coming with you. Because every time I would slide my foot forward, it would hit. Oh man, it hurt. What was that? 20 CV, if you're doing it right, it shouldn't really slick up too much, but I mean, it also depends on the heat treat, depends on the stone, depends on how clean the stone was and all those things. When you're dealing with, I gotta turn this light on, I gotta see. I gotta get a good close look. It's a little bit better. Sorry, I know that light can be distracting, but yeah, I think we definitely. Good call, Mike. She needed a touch up. Just a little bit dull. I reprofiled the inner angle on this one too. And gave it a little bit more of a, I thinned that edge out a little bit on this one because it's mine, and so it does really good. It cuts a lot better now that I did that. Just a quick 600 grit touch up. I don't think the forward edge needs anything. Just this inner. I've got 20 CV that I've taken to 10,000, 12,000 grit that still is really toothy. Some people ask why I strop right after I sharpen. It's just to make sure that if there is any little remnant of a burr that I might have formed, that it's gone when I'm done. Yeah, that forward edge might need a little bit of work. She's got a... not too bad. I can probably touch that up. S35, I've told Jared this a couple times. I don't like S35B much above 600 grit, maybe 1,000, and then I just finish it on ultrafine ceramic. I think we got it. 3V stays fairly toothy. You can take it to whatever you want, but the more time you spend with 3V on a stone, the more time it has to rust, which does not take very long. So a lot of times I do 3V on a natural Arkansas stone where I'm using oil. There's a kitchen knife in my drawer, and I'm curious as to why there's a kitchen knife in my drawer. Oh, I know what it is. That's that one we found when we were moving, and it came out here. I was going to use it because sometimes I will use this counter to cook. But the double Spyderco stone with a medium, I don't like those ones as much as I like the dedicated 1,000 or the ultrafine or fine. Don't get me wrong, they're great. Spyderco stones, that's a good product. Spyderco knives, don't try it. I do put baking soda in water. As a matter of fact, I've told you guys that trick a bunch of times, but for 3V, it doesn't matter. 3V, it's gonna rust. Like I said, I refinished the 3V knife. The guy wanted black ceramic on it. I'm like, that's a good call because it's gonna rust. And I took the blade and I blasted it, and I pulled it out of the blast booth, and I touched it, and it was hot that day and it was sweaty. And by the time I got from the blast booth over to the coating station to rinse it, there was an orange fingerprint on it, and I had to reblast the entire blade. It is that corrosion prone, and that's one of the things I don't like about it. Someone probably finished it, and when they got done, they probably coated the blade with a Renaissance wax to fill it. That's what Chris and Elliot did with all their knives. If it's blasted and you've opened those pores and exposed so much more of the material made it more porous, it will rust like that, especially if you've got salty, sweaty hands. So, guys, there's 11 people here and only 7 likes. I don't like that. They probably gave it some sort of a clear lacquer coating or an oil coating or something like that. You can do that. You can soak the blades in an oil. Hang on a second. Let me turn that light off. It's shining right on you. 9 and 9. Hey, I'm good with that. Hang on a second. Let me. I forgot the rules. I wore my workout shoes in the house. The wife is going to murder me. I got news for you. Every guy I know that has an Asian wife is terrified of her. I'm terrified of my wife. I would rather take my chances with a large angry man carrying a pool stick than piss my wife off. And here's the thing, I'm so good at it. Like, I can piss my wife off and not even try. I gotta make coffee. I have not had coffee yet this morning. So, I did the brazen video went up this morning, or yesterday, I mean. There is a video going up this afternoon at 4. I just scheduled it. It's an unboxing from Jared, and I'm gonna, Beardo, I was gonna film I filmed the unboxing of the knife that Beardo sent me. And I was like, this is a really nice knife, and I did the whole video. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I even blocked out your address and everything, so you're gonna, when I get ready to send it back, I'm gonna have to ask you for your address because I no longer have your address. It's blacked out in the box. But at any rate, shot the unboxing video of that Pit Boss, and it didn't record. It just, all I got was audio, and I was like, I'm not re-recording it. I had already opened the box. It wasn't going to be truly an unboxing, but I am going to do a first impressions video of that knife. I really like that. It is super smooth for as big a knife as it is. The action on it is incredibly smooth. Guys, I made coffee yesterday, and I ran the pot and everything, and I came out, and I heard it run, and I was like, coffee, and I looked down in the basket with the grounds in it, still on the counter, and I just had a pot of hot water. I do need more stuff for, but the fact is, like, it's that weird thing. Jared just sent me like 6 or 7 more knives. I still have 3 knives in from Matthew. I have the one from Beardo. What I don't like having is so many people's stuff here to have to keep track of. Like, having stuff just from Jared, that's fine. Like, he sent me like 15 knives last time. He sent me like 8 more. But I just don't have a way to like keep them separate, if you know what I mean. So I want to have more stuff in. That would be great. But I've got to figure out I got to find some bins or something that I can just put stuff in and then put like a sticky on it and say, okay, this is this person's knives. This is this person's knives. This belongs to this guy. Because I do that with the sharpening, but I also don't want to get the review stuff mixed in with the sharpening stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm still trying to get that all figured out. And I really just need to go through everything in that butcher block cabinet that's out there and figure out what's in there, what needs to go, what needs to be given away, and things like that. I have to shoot the... if you want to send it to me, I could just put them in a box, and then when I get to them, I get to them. If you're cool with me holding on to them for a while. A lot of people are like, just give them back whenever. I got 4 knives that came in for sharpening. Guys, like, I'm going to be down for like 4 weeks. If you want to do a review, by all means. But I want to get a hold of Franken blades, Franken knives, whatever it was. I want to get a hold of him and talk to him about that blade, that reblade he did on that Benchmade. Let me get this coffee started. Hang on. Another thing, guys, I think I'm getting sick. So don't be surprised if there's going to be like you get an announcement that there just won't be as many videos. I'm having a hard time getting up in the morning, and by like 9 o'clock, I fell asleep on the love seat out in the garage at like 9 o'clock last night. So I don't know, usually and I was like, wow, I wish I just take a nap. When I talk about wanting to take a nap, it's usually because I don't feel good. It did, and I don't think it was that it was soft. It's just that it's so thin that it was forming a burr. It just felt, because it was so thin that I just think that that Brown Knives Cortex was the same way. I was like, ooh, it might have been a bad heat treat. But then I realized, it's like, no, it's just that it's ground that thin. So, and I think that's part of it too. It's stress. I've upped my content. Basically, there are no contracts right now. The contracts that I was bidding, this is what's happening. So when a construction contracts get done, it gets bonded at a certain price. Basically, there's a certain level that it's bonded at. Well, they've set these projects up, these contracts up, and then they bonded them at a certain rate. And then the fact is that the increase in material prices has gotten to a point where construction companies are going, okay, we can't do it at that price anymore. And then that project gets scrapped and has to be basically rewritten for the funding that would be required. But the problem is, if they're not accounting for the price to continue to go up, we're going to keep having these problems. I've had 3 contracts get yanked, and so I just called this last company. I was like, I'm not even putting in a bid, and they're like, good, because we're not doing the project. I was like, yeah, because I looked at what they were doing, and I was looking at what the bid was and the listed plans and schedule pricing was, and I was looking at what I was going to be able to get it for. I was like, I can't even come close to that. The prices went up exponentially since they wrote that project, and so like, it sucks because that's basically, this is it. The YouTube and my YouTube and my retirement are basically it. So now, before somebody flips out and starts saying I'm begging for money and things like that, I'm absolutely not. I had somebody make that comment the other day. I was like, oh, just be a man and figure it out. I was like, well, I can't go back to work physically because I have an autoimmune disorder. The doctor won't let me. And every time these mask mandate rules change, I get told again, yeah, I don't plan on going to work anytime soon. And the state of California won't pay me disability, but I don't qualify for unemployment. So just stating a fact, guys. It's not that I'm like e-begging, as someone decided they wanted to say. Fact is, I'm still making money. I still get stuff in. What I would say would be, like, send me, if you need sharpening done, send me stuff and I'll do sharpening. And as far as anodizing on your knife, Beardo, I don't know if I want to do that. I was looking at it. I don't want to take that knife apart. ADVs are a pain to disassemble anyway, a lot of times. And the button lock with that slide, like that whole thing, I was looking at how it's assembled, and I don't know, not that I don't think I can do it, I just don't want to run a risk of things going wrong in the mechanism on that. It's definitely not your typical button lock. Yeah, but I'm saying, as I was looking at it, and button locks are a pain, and I was looking at the assembly on this knife, and I honestly don't know if I want to take it apart. I don't want to run the risk on such a nice knife. I can look at it and see, and I can think about it, but the flip side of that is I also do not know. It's up on my bedstand. I was going to show it to you guys, but the ADV is up on my bedstand. And I left it up there because the thing is, I'm carrying this because this is what currently is the video for tomorrow. I did a first impressions of the Sencut Actium, another nice knife from basically from Civivi. This is a really nice knife. I don't think I like it more than the Brazen. What was my first higher end knife? Well, I always had a bunch of cold steels and like Gerbers and stuff when I was in the military. First higher end. First higher end knife. Yeah, I'm sitting in my couch in the garage. First higher end knife, I would have to say probably was my first Sebenza. So I had an old Sebenza in BG42 steel. Old, like the classics. Like I had it for years when I started this channel. And then I had some like custom knives, and I never was really happy with. They were custom fixed blades and stuff. So I'd have to say my first higher end knife would had to have been, it was a cold steel fixed blade. It was the Sizu, the one that looks like a it looks like the Finnish style knives. I have one of those, and that was one of the first higher end knives that I had. And then I had this, then I would have to say probably the Microtech DOC was one of the first higher end production knives, production folders. And then from there, I got into the Ferrum Forge stuff and some other higher end, like the Reat. And actually, I had the Reat before I had the, so I had the DOC, I'd say would probably be my first like higher end production folder. And then this one, the Reat, would have been the next one I got. So, yeah. Well, and then the stress of the fact that like, until here just like a couple weeks ago, I was home all day. I worked in the garage. I had the house to myself. I ran my schedule. If I needed to take a phone call, I could go and sit on the couch. My wife is off for the summer. She works for the school district. And so she's off for the summer. Now, she got a rather large bonus, summer bonus. And she worked for part of the summer, but I mean, she's off for basically the entire month of August. And that schedule change, that's of her being here all the time. Not that I don't love my wife. It's just that it's a stress-inducing thing. Like I can't, like I wanna film videos. Can I film a video right now? It depends. Like, are my wife and kid gonna be running in and out? Is my wife gonna be? My wife works out every day. Like she actually will take time at school right at the end of her workday and work out with her friends. They work out, in the parking lot in the lot behind the school building. And so she's doing that here at the house now, which means that like I'm not gonna tell her she can't use the garage to work out. It's the best place to do it. So she's working out in the garage. So that means that I have that period of time where I can't work out, or I can't work in the garage, and I can't be on my computer. And like I said, just the contracts and all that, it's stressful. And then she's like, well, are you going to make money this month? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Maybe. But that's why I say I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate like all the membership stuff. We got 30 paying members right now. And I mean, that's more than I've ever had. That's great. That's more than I had on Patreon. And if you guys are watching and you are Patreon members to my channel, I would say pull out a Patreon and join the memberships. There's so much more stuff. I don't know if you want to go say normal. Normal's a very strong word in this house. As close to normal as you're gonna get. I'm starting to dig the patch of gray. I just wish I had matching gray patches. I think I have a scar in that area, and I think that's what did it. I never really thought about it before, but I do have a scar here. And that might be why I'm having this patch of gray, and it might grow at different rates because coffee's done. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Come like 9 o'clock, I'm like, I can't keep my eyes open. I was in bed before the kid was yesterday. I think we're gonna switch coffee cups for today. We're gonna go with a probably one of the oldest cups, which is the U.S. Naval Gunnery School, SSC Great Lakes. I've had that cup since I was 18 years old. Like I said, sleep is, these days I've been sleeping great. And somebody, what was that? You definitely don't look your age. Well, I appreciate that. My father never looked his age. Unfortunately, he died when he was in his mid 60s, early 60s. So hopefully I'm not setting a precedence. Precedent? That's the word I was looking for. I think part of it too is it has been hot the last few days too. It's been not hot, but like in the garage, like I close the garage door halfway down and acts like an oven. So it's been getting up into the mid 80s in the garage, and I'm out. That doesn't bother me. I don't even start sweating until it's like around 100. But it definitely is. Those are the days that, like, because once it starts to cool down, I'm like, oh, I'm so sleepy. Things will pay off. I know. It's just like, the whole point of selling the house was to have that windfall so that my wife doesn't have to worry about money, getting my Disabled Veterans Business Enterprise certification, was amazing, and I worked a couple projects and it was great, but then it just seems like, you know, it was the whole point of that was to get to where we didn't have to worry. You know what I mean? So, you know, putting $100 and so $1,000 in the bank was a big stress reliever. But I agree with my wife. I have to look at the future. Like, you can't live off $100,000 forever. That's not like $1 million. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get royalties from the knife designs and stuff like that, but it's just, I don't know. And not being able to go to work, like physically not being allowed to go to work at all. Like, he doesn't want me to work in retail. I can't work at a gas station. I can't work anywhere. You'd be surprised how little you actually make. I'm not joking. How little you truly make. I can't tell you, but it's about enough to buy a nice knife once a quarter. Yeah, I know, Nick, you're in the same situation. You got an autoimmune disorder. I guarantee your doctor's like, you ain't going nowhere. I'm coming back, guys. I just had to go get the creamer. I do like black coffee, but usually I have creamer in my coffee. Oh, no. It's not open yet. I don't know. I was talking with We Knife Company. So you guys know, I talked to We Knife Company about possibly revisiting the Stonefish. I'm like, hey, why don't we try and offer it? Because I thought they're like, dude, we're still sitting on half of the originals. Like, there's companies out there that, like, half of those, like, they paid me out for the entire run. But vendors still haven't paid because they haven't sold them. Half of them are still available. So if you want a Stonefish, they're still available. I thought they were, like, yeah, that's what I was talking about, more affordable version of the Stonefish, because they priced it at like $250, which, hey, you know, they priced it at $250, which for a lot of people, that's for a fixed blade, that's a pretty expensive fixed blade. I mean, but super quality materials and everything that the Stonefish was done with. But, you know, what people like is a fixed blade. Everybody likes fixed blade, but no one likes a $300 fixed blade unless it's a custom. I'm hoping that I can get some materials that'll let me do some Stonefish at a lower price point. But no, so Doris at We Knife Company told me, like, we still have half of those that we haven't gotten paid for. Like, we paid you, but like half of those we haven't gotten paid yet. And I was like, are you serious? They're still out there? So if you guys want to get one of those production Stonefish, which I'm not gonna lie to you, are so nice. They are. Mine sits here on my workbench. $200 is about where I maxed out. I only spent above that twice. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I can't argue that. I wouldn't. Now, I'm not gonna lie. For me to make you one, it's significantly more than that. But it's all handwork. And I hate to admit it, with the exception of some of the things that I do with just, these are great. Like, these are very, very good knives. I keep mine here all the time. And that's the thing. The other thing is this was for a specific group. This is like a camp knife. This was done as a camp style combat utility. This is capable of combat, but more for the rigors of what you would do day to day. And there's little things that I do with them, because I know I know my target market for that knife. So the distal taper on this is very similar to mine, but at the very tip of every one of the Stonefish, it's a little thicker. And that's because I know that when I designed them, the first few I did, I gave them to SEALs, and I wanted them to test them, and I know what those guys are gonna do. And had I continued that distal taper all the way to the very tip, so it's actually on the ones I make, it's thinner from here to here than it is at the very tip. and it's a little thinner here than it is here. And so it's a reinforced tip, exactly. And I do it on purpose. People are like, oh wow, that looks weird. It's done intentionally. Like the sharpening bevel definitely widens at the tip of those knives, and it's because it's thicker material, and it's done intentionally. So because I didn't want to send those off to those guys and have them all come back and have to retip them for them. And I never have had one come back broke. I've never had anyone break the tip on one of the handmade stonefish. I have seen people break the tips on these. And it's because I had that thought in my head. So I just intentionally left a little bit more material. Now the habus and the stonefish, I don't do that. Glorious, glorious coffee. I have to make another one of these, like a handmade one for Nico. So, what coffee? Hot coffee with creamer. It's just Costco brand coffee. If I could down the road make a custom knives full time for a living, I don't know. You know, that's one of those things. I do it for fun, and if I was going to do it full time, I'm afraid that I would get fed up with it real quick. That's one of the problems. Like I said, I had a friend that some people can do that. Like Jim Skelton loves it. I get it. It is fun to make knives, but well, you can get them wherever you want, because I've already been paid out for a run. I make no more money on these. They already paid me for the entire run. A new premium sub thingy? What do you mean? Oh, you mean the badge? Yeah, I made new badges. Ace, if you want to get in on that. Like, if you look at some of these guys, it is the logo, and the longer you're a paying member, it changes color. So it's all just black and white. Black and white, and then it goes to grayscale, then you get black, and then the swords start getting colored in, and the letters start just getting colored in, and so Aiden has only been a member for like a month or so. So the longer you're a member, the more color it gets. So it goes from white to gray, and then you get a black background, and then the swords fill in, and then the letters start to fill in with color and all that stuff, and it just changes color, and then you have the full color at the end. So it is thin enough you could use it for food prep. Oh, I appreciate that, guys, but you guys are not the majority. There's a lot of people that do not like me. I have an entire subreddit dedicated to hatred of me, which actually feeds traffic to the channel. So people are like, oh, doesn't it bother you? People like before a video even plays, there's already thumbs, like there's a downvote on it. I was like, no, because that's still an interaction on the channel. So if you don't like a video, give it a thumbs down. Just tell me what you didn't like. I can't develop new content. I'm flying blind here. Like, I never get any constructive criticism. I either get, I hate you, I want you to fucking die, and we're gonna rape your daughter on the playground. I got that for a while. That was something that literally was happening. I got that in live feeds, and I got emails and all that, and we had an actual stalker, and I had to get a no contact order for an individual. We just took care of it. I just took care of another individual that it was in up in northern Texas that was basically stalking, and it's a tie-in case on that. So I have a case number. Yeah, no, I'm serious. It happens all the time. People just don't like people. People just like to try and harass people and hurt people, but I have pretty thick skin. But when you start involving my family, I really start getting upset. But the fact was that we had all that going on. So I forget where I was going with that. I forget where I was going with it, but like I said, but the fact is, like, I appreciate that. And it's good to hear that, but not like just downvoting and not giving me any criticism of telling me what you want, like, except like, you're just a fucking idiot and this and that, and you just don't understand. Okay, well, yeah, I definitely got some hatred but that's fact. It's in my opinion. And if you could tell me what you like about Emerson knives, other than like, you just don't fucking understand them, you don't know. I'm like, no, I do. I understand knives. I'm a knife maker. I know hard use on knives. I was in the military, hard used knives. And the last few years I was in the military, I was stationed with at Special Forces commands, and I wasn't an operator, but I was definitely there, and I was definitely doing a lot of the things that they were doing. And so, you know, it was one of those things. And so if you're not giving me constructive criticism, I'm flying into it blind. Like, all the things that you see, the things that change, the changes that you've seen to the channel, no one recommended that. That's just stuff that I thought, I was like, okay, well, let me do this. If you guys have constructive criticism, let me know. I have videos that are members only videos that get downvotes. And if you guys, the paying members, are downvoting a video, I need to know why. You're paying me for content. And if you can't tell me what you don't like about a video, I can't fix it. You know what I mean? I gave Rhea a whole bunch when I started the channel with Jared. Dude, Shopcat is blowing up. Yeah, Shopcat. I have one Shopcat video, one of the Shopcat shorts, 17,000 views in a 2-day period. Yeah, that's, I can't go to the table. I can't go to the Spyderco table and film. I can't. That video would get so much backlash from the community, because I would ask Eric, why are you fucking trying to ruin your father's company? And then I would look at Sal and be like, Sal, why are you letting your son fuck up your company? I have not seen a Spyderco that was worth a squirt of piss in years, literally. And like I've said, they've backed this. Oh, we'll do sprint runs. We'll do a sprint run of this and a sprint run of this and a sprint run of that. Collect them all. They're like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Just stop trying to find that lightning in a bottle and just make a good knife. Because I got news for you. None of those knives are worth a shit. They're not. Like, I have a Spyderco Endura. And like, you can flex the entire thing. I know it's FRN handles, but like, the price you're paying for plastic handles and a poorly heat treated steel, no, that's not going to work for me. You know, if you guys like Spyderco knives, that's fine. But like, I just don't see them demanding the price that they're not worth what you're paying for. Absolutely not. You're paying for a name that at one point was good. Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't care. 9 times out of 10, I don't care what my knife looks like. Have you noticed how plain? You ever noticed how plain my knife designs are? I don't do any embellishment. Like, I could see, like, if you were doing fancy stuff like this that looked like, you remember American Chopper? The Black Widow bikes and things they did? Yeah, I could see maybe that probably demanding a premium if it was a good knife. But I apologize to Joe if you're watching. This is not a good knife. Do you have the... What was that, Greg? Yeah, sea snake. This is one of the prototype ones. That's the sea snake. Stonefish. I have 3 different sea snakes because I have... This is the one that I've carried the most, and I've done all the testing, and you can see it's all scratched up, and it still is great. It still holds an edge really well. I haven't sharpened this in a very long time. But I have the black handle one because it's just the one that hasn't been used. And then I have the black coated one because before I was going to recommend the black coated one to you guys, I wanted to see how the coating held up. And it doesn't hold up, like, it doesn't hold up anywhere near as nice as the black ceramic that I put on stuff, but it's not black ceramic. So, I mean, for a coating on a knife, it's actually pretty decent. So, yeah, like I said, I'm carrying the Actium right now. We're going to see how it holds up. It's got a nice hollow. The video for this goes up tomorrow. And then the video for it goes up tomorrow. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to film. Oh, I know what we're going to film. I know what we're going to do on Friday. Friday's going to be the, well, today, probably later, I'm going to do the live giveaway announcement. So you guys that are members, you don't have to do anything, but if you're a member by this afternoon, a top tier, premium tier member, I think there's like 15 now. This is what I'm giving away. So just a premium tier member, you don't have to do anything. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick your name out of the hat. So I'm going to send this off, and then I'm going to recommend to you guys who the sheath, if you want leather or if you want Kydex. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. I'm just going to send this out. Oh no, I still have one, Nick. I still have one of these that I haven't sold. I have one that's tumbled, like an ultra fine stonewash, and I have the satin. So I'm wrapping that back up because it is so sharp. But yeah, I'm going to give that away probably either later today, and then this was the giveaway for everyone else. So I'm going to do that giveaway, and I'm going to do both of them at once. I'm going to pick a random comment. So if you have not found the July giveaway yet, all it is comment as your entry if you're in the United States. Overseas, I will send it to an FPOAP. So I will definitely be doing this. No, it won't affect the temper of the blade because your nitride heat treat usually is around, it's well above the boiling point of water, but it should not be anywhere where it's going to affect the temper or heat treat of the steel. However, it is hot enough that there is stresses. I had a Damascus blade bend on me in the liquid. It took a curve, and it was just simply stress in the blade. What are my favorite smaller folders? Well, I've got two of them right here. I've got the Rhea. I love the Rhea as a small folder. Swiss Army knives, definitely. Any of these little buck folders, like slip joint pocket folders, they're great. The Spyderco little ones, the bugs, I do have one of those that I like, and it is a very nice, just a traditional pocket knife. I like if it's a smaller folder, it's going to be a traditional, something like this. Like I said, I like the Rhea. I like the NTAC, which is a smaller folder. Let me grab them. I'll grab them for you real quick. In my case, what I can see right now are some of my smaller folders. So as far as like blade length and stuff, the NTAC is not a very large knife. It is a great little knife. One of my most carried and favorite knives I've ever owned. It hasn't gotten carried much lately, but the action on it is really, really good. N690 steel. It is a little thick behind the edge, but I've given it kind of a really NTAC. So if you can find one of these are great, but there was only ever 200 of them. There was only ever 200 of these made. So I have two of them. One is my daughter's and one is mine. And then, like I said, what I've got here right now, this is a much, much thinner profiled knife. It's more of a gentleman's knife. This is just an all-around great knife. I have to hide this for myself, or it will spend all of its time in my pocket, and I've got so many other things I have to carry. That's one of the problems. Like, people like, oh, it must be great, you know, getting all these knives in for review. That's like a dream. And Jared and I have said the same thing, and I even talked with, I think I heard Metal Complex say it when we were talking in a live stream. I had mentioned, I have knives that I would love, I have knives I love and want to carry, but I have all these other knives that I have to carry, and it's just kind of a pain. This does find its way in my pocket a lot, just because it fits really well. You can carry something else and this. I would have to say that this was a contender for Knife of the Year 2020. Definitely was. But then again, I'm a big enough guy. I can carry, like, proportionally, if you look at these two. That's what I was getting ready to say. The EWC is over there, but that's not a knife for everyone. A lot of people just don't like it, but the EWC, to tell you the truth, the EWC really isn't that small. Well, I guess it is. But I carry this a lot too. I carry this. This is if I'm eating out here. There's a lot of times that this is like if I have like a steak or something and I'm eating out here at my work counter, because I'll buy a cheap steak on base and cook it just for myself, and if the wife and kid aren't around, and so this a lot of times winds up being what I grab to use as a steak knife, on a plastic plate, not a ceramic plate. Cheap steak on a plastic plate. We have some. They're not plastic. What are they called? They're melamine. They're like Bakelite. We have a bunch of those plates in there, and they're nice because they, you know, you put something on it and cut right on it, and don't have to worry about ruining the edge on your knife. You trying to sell EWC? I might know a couple people. This is Monterey Bay Knives. This is a Ray Laconico design, and you can pick a Ray Laconico design out of a lineup. This is a really good knife. They also have the what was the other one? They have a lock. They have a liner lock or frame lock version of this. There you go, Jeremy. Nick wants one. Jeremy, Nick, Jeremy. Nice to meet you. There you go. I have the ultra rare brown micarta version. Now there's a green micarta. This is not green. This is brown. This is the tan micarta. And you can't see it because it gets carried on oil. I mean, you can see there it's tan. But this is tan micarta, brown micarta, not the olive drab. So there was only like 15 or 20 of these. And I talked to Sanford and I was like, bro, I want to get one of those. And he goes, well, I've got the micarta ones. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I can get you the tan ones if you want. He's like, we only did a short. It's very, very few of them that we did. And I was like, absolutely. And so I was like, I need 2. And Sanford gave us a really good deal. I got one for me and one for Nico. The only thing I will say about the micarta ones is they have a tendency to, you can squish the micarta. See what I'm saying? The micarta is like the carbon fiber ones do not do that. So I may look at if somebody wants to do a trade and just wants this because it's a little bit kind of an exclusive. I would think about trading this for a carbon fiber one. Yeah, no, this is EWC is a great little knife. And the fact is, it's not a hard use knife. So this is just like daily, I just need to cut a piece of line. And if you're using it probably like, well, it doesn't lock with it closed in your hand. I'm like, well, guess what? This doesn't lock. This doesn't lock. Any of the other slip joint knives that everyone carries, they don't lock. Why is this one different? This is basically just this is the new version of your grandfather's pocket knife. They're not, and I will tell you though that this will cut really well. Like this is a great knife for small duty cutting. Let's see, I've used it a lot. Is it still holding its edge? It's a little dull at the very tip, right? That's why I see people doing spine wax, and I was like, yeah, that's great. You're testing a knife with a spine whack, but why would you be whacking anything with the spine of a knife? Have any of them ever closed on my finger? The only knife I've ever have closed. Here's the thing: if you're holding the knife properly, even if the knife lock does fail, it's not gonna like slam down on your hand. You're not gonna cut yourself very bad because this is what's gonna catch you, especially a flipper. The only knife I've ever had that failed on me, and I was just testing, and it popped over, was a ZT. I didn't spine whack it, but like. I was getting ready to say ZT. And then I did have a full custom, extremely expensive knife that I was sharpening and it kept snapping. I was like, oh my God, the lock on this is bad. And I sent an email to the maker. I had the guy's knife here and I knew the maker and I'm like, hey, I was gonna do a review of this. I don't feel good doing a review of this until I give you a chance to fix it. And the maker was like, no, that's fine. He's like, I was like, I can send the knife back to you. And then if you want, you can send it to him. I was like, I've got it sharp. If you want to, you know, rectify the situation. He's, yeah, that works for me. So I sent it off to them. They fixed the knife and sent it off to the owner. 14C, I love 14C. It really is it's one of those steels that has gotten forgot about, that it can compete in the realm of the super steels. It really, really can. Actually, I've had a lot of liner locks that held up better and were less likely to have lock slip than a frame lock. None of my frame locks in here would be an example of what I'm talking about, but I have definitely had knives. I definitely have had knives that, no, it's absolutely not. You don't get that kind of a bitey edge you do not get that kind of bitey edge with AEBL. It's not at all the same. I would have to look up like the chemical similarities, but I'm telling you, it's not even, when it comes to how it performs and the edge it takes, not even close. I don't like AEBL. AEBL and kitchen knives, great. But if you were to put the edge on a knife in AEBL that you feel like you would touch it sharp, that knife's not sharp. It doesn't have the bite because it doesn't form the carbides that you get in 14C. And so it doesn't have that cutting potential. For a kitchen knife, it's great. It's resilient, it's impact resistant, it's fairly decent edge retention. And for the things you'd be cutting with a kitchen knife, it's fine. But when it comes to like edge performance, I don't think it's there. And ARPM 9 and 14C are really, AEBL is stainless. So is this though. I've never really had any issues with corrosion on 14C. It's a good all-around steel. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to like, is it in that super hard Rockwell range? No, but the thing is, Sandvik is great when it comes to all the things. It performs at a lower Rockwell, like other steels do at a higher Rockwell, and it's just, that's what I'm saying. Rockwell isn't everything. I found steels that people have sent me that were the higher Rockwell super steels that I didn't like. See, there you go, making connections. I've seen some of the super steels I just don't like, and some of the higher, like I've noticed as well that the particle, or the powdered metallurgy stuff is, sometimes I don't like it as much. Sometimes you don't get at the same grit. Like this is at 5,000 grit. 5,000 grit for 14C. If you did this steel to 5,000 grit, you wouldn't have the bite. Now, at 800 grit, this, I've never seen it. Aiden, people have been asking me, I've never seen ADCRV 2. I've never seen it. No one has ever sent me a knife in it, so I don't base judgments on like people like, oh, I looked at the spec sheet, so I think, no, I don't give a shit about the spec sheet. I don't care what the spec sheet looks like. Because I judge it on several different factors, like in hand, how's it sharpened? When I start sharpening, how's it feel on the stones? Does it feel like it's difficult to cut on stones? And things like that. So like, does it feel like it's wanting to chip? Does it feel too hard? And then how does it cut? Like a lot of people like S30V. I've never had a knife in S30V. Now, granted, the only knives I've ever had in S30V were from Spyderco and Benchmade, which historically have garbage heat treats. And you can't say I'm wrong. They typically wind up screwing up their heat treats. Benchmade has gotten better. I would say that the Anthems, the 20 CV on those Anthems, was heat treated very well. The S90V they seem to do pretty well with. But S30V, like, oh, S30V is not chippy. I'm telling you right now, I've done videos and I've shown in the videos, and I did the microscopic edge thing, and I'm not going to do that anymore because the computer that works with, I haven't even unboxed. I don't even know if that's ever going to get unboxed. I don't know if I ever need that computer again. I don't have an office here that I could do it with. But at the edge, you could see that it would chip, and it was all I was doing was cutting cardboard. I just think everything about Spyderco just irritates me, it upsets me, and it's just not good. Nothing about Spyderco is good these days. They used to, and the thing that's why I get so, I think that's why I'm so critical is because I used to love Spyderco, and I used to love Benchmade. Like, back in the day, if you were in the military, there was like 3 or 4 knives that you got. You stay off that love seat, cat. There's like 3 or 4. Where are you going? Oh, are you gonna house cat now? Shop cat's gonna go house cat. Go ahead. Sometimes shop cat likes to house cat it. The dog and him share a water bowl. I'm like, that is pretty cool. No, Spyderco, like, if you were in a military, so you had Gerber, and you had like Columbia River Knife and Tool, and then you had, at the time when I first saw them, they were Pacific Cutlery, and then turned into Benchmade and Spyderco. And if you had a Benchmade knife, man, that was the one. Now, you had paid a pretty penny. So, oh man, Aiden, Shopcat, cool. But now if you get Benchmade has knives that are $1,000, and I've seen some of these gold class that are $700, $800, $1,000, and they're not any nicer than the ones you're buying for $100 and $200, which technically I wouldn't pay $60, $80 for. Where's my thing? I don't. There you go. I don't have my water bottle in here. I took it to the gym and I think I left it in the car. So it's just one of those things like you're like, what the seriously? I can't justify the price. That's why I did not buy that Spyderco. Or I'm sorry, that's why I didn't buy that Benchmade 940. It was a gift. I just could not justify $180 for a knife that is substandard. And it really is. I have a $50 Asher knives with an access lock that does not have blade play. And people are like, oh, you gotta check your washers and you gotta check the inner frame. And I'm like, fucking why? I shouldn't have to. At $180, I shouldn't have to check any of those things. It should not have blade play at $180. When there are companies out there that are providing knives at $50 that don't have it. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at the Asher Knives 2.0 versus the Asher Knives frame lock. And I mentioned that I like the Asher Knives 2.0, which is the axis lock version, way better. And it's a better all-around axis lock knife than my actual Benchmade, and they designed that lock. That should really just upset them. That'd be like if you, in the military, if you're like an E6 and you got an E5 that's doing a better job than you need to step your fucking game up. Because low man on a totem pole here is making you look bad. That's what I equate it to, and they just don't. They just don't care because they can capitalize on that name. Same thing with Spyderco. They're not capitalizing on quality. They're capitalizing on their name. And eventually people are going to be like, kind of like when the leader of this country right now, capitalizing on certain things and then realizing that he's not carrying out. Like, he ain't performing the way you expected. Buyer's remorse eventually is going to get to those companies, and then it's going to be too late. And I equate it just like I said. If you are a business and you do not evolve and keep up with the current business situations and the current business environment, you are going to become extinct. And I will do this example for you guys again, the 16 of you that are here. Amazon started selling more than books, and Walmart, Target were like, hey, hang on a second. They're selling everything now. And they decided that they were going to follow that path. Now you can order things on walmart.com. And just because it might not be as good, hey, Winston Cabretti, brand new member, just because they saw that change and they tried to get into that market and people remembered that, people still kept going with Walmart. And you could have pickup, you could shop online and pick it up at the store and things like that. Amazon set that bar. Well, Toys R Us were like, who's going to buy toys on the internet? We're Toys R Us. We be toys and shit. Who's going to buy toys on the internet? And what Toys R Us failed to realize is that most people will try to find a way to do as many things as they can without putting on fucking pants. And then they were like, oh shit, we're losing our ass. They decided they were about ready to go into bankruptcy, and then they started their online retail site, and it didn't take off because people were like, well, wait a second, I have to send it to the store, and then I have to go to the store, pick it up, and pay for it there. I still have to interact with people, and I have to put on pants. Amazon beat them to the punch. The only reason that Walmart stuck around is there were things that you still couldn't buy on Amazon, and there still are things that you can't buy on Amazon, but they set it up so that you can order those items, put it in your cart, have it delivered to the store. You come in, now you can pull into a spot, make a phone call, they bring it out to your car and pack it up for you, and you drive home. The only reason Walmart and Target didn't get completely destroyed by Amazon was because they kind of adopted the online sales model fast enough that people remembered it, and they're like, oh, okay. And they still go to Walmart. People still like the buying experience of browsing. But Toys R Us was a limited market. They were toys. And if you can get the same things on Amazon for cheaper and have it delivered to your house, and you don't even have to get dressed, what do you think they're going to do? Adapt to your environment, evolve, or you become extinct. Custom knife makers, same thing. They capitalize on this stuff. They only make certain things. Best Buy also, yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's yeah, but I mean, some people just like, I'm not gonna lie, I like to go to a store and just walk around. There's times that like my wife is like, oh, I gotta go get these things, and she's like, I'm going to Walmart, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk around for a little bit, and then I'll go meet you at the car when you're done. That way I don't have to deal with the whole checkout experience. But I like to go to Home Depot and just walk around and look at stuff sometimes, because I'm able to go and not buy things. Yeah, I mean, if you can go to it, there are no local knife dealers here, except for San Diego Knives, which is down at Nowpack Group, which is far enough away from me now that I just don't make a trip. But if you do have a local knife dealer, go for it. But the fact is, I would also like you guys to remember that Blade HQ and Knife Center are not the big companies that you think they are. Smoky Mountain Knife Works is the largest. But places like White Mountain Knives and things like that, they are basically small businesses. But Blade HQ is not a very large business. They just have a large online presence. Same with Knife Center, which actually is larger. And if you don't have any of those places, if you're gonna buy a knife, I would prefer you didn't do it through Amazon. But unfortunately, right now, the only knives that I have that I make are not available at Knife Center. They have not reordered the Sea Snake. Walmart always, or not Walmart, but Amazon always has them. I mean, okay, yes, if you have them. That's what I was saying. If you have, there are none, except for San Diego Knives, and Andy usually only stocks a handful of brands, and he doesn't usually have very many in the showroom. You can order stuff from him online. But the fact is, like, you know, most of those brick and mortar stores don't exist anymore. And it's sad, but the fact is, like, if I was going to pick which I was going to support, like if I was going to buy this knife or this knife, I'm going to try and support Blade HQ, knifecenter.com before I would go to Amazon. If I can't find it there, then I'm going to go try and find it on Amazon. I mean, because I'm still supporting the company and the designer. My knife, like I said, this knife is only right now, if you're buying it online, it's available in two places, artisancutlery.com and Amazon. So you see what I'm saying? So, and I'm kind of capitalizing on it twice, because I've put an affiliate link to the Sea Snake on Amazon in the description below. And so not only am I getting the fact that they're selling that knife, I'm also getting the affiliate link. So if you guys want to get a Sea Snake, I would prefer you did it that way. I have affiliate links for it in the description, because you're basically, I'm getting paid twice. I'm getting my affiliate link sales, and I'm getting my my royalties for having those knives be sold. So And there are some local, I think there's still a place that is an engraving shop, almost like a Things Remembered, that still does have, but I think all they sell Spyderco Benchmade. Now, I would say if you're in the market to get a Benchmade, brick and mortar is the place to go, because then you get a chance to look at the knife. Because buying a Benchmade sight unseen, that's a crapshoot. Yeah, I like DLT trading, but I mean, there's some limits to what DLT trading has. So, but like I said, I mean, buying a Benchmade sight unseen, that's craps. It's all fucked up. So, guys, I have to get off. It's been 65 minutes. I'm gonna have to get this started so that it'll get rendered, so you guys can, anybody that watches it can see the actual chat when they replay it, because until it completely renders, no one gets it. So I will see you guys this afternoon. We have a video going up at 4 p.m. this afternoon. I do believe, if I remember correctly, the 4 p.m. video is the unboxing of the stuff that Jared just sent me. I'm going to do a first impressions video today of that great big monster Pit Boss 2 that Beardo the Weirdo sent me. I really appreciate that. It's a great knife. So we'll see what we'll see. And more Shopcat. Yeah, there'll probably be more Shopcat. I don't know where he took off to. Oh, he's over here. He found a mat that he likes to sit on in the corner. You want more Shopcat? Here, we'll give a parting Shopcat. Say goodbye, Shopcat. Say goodbye. Meow. You want to meow? He doesn't meow. He doesn't make any noise when he meows. There, you see? He meowed, but he didn't make any noise. Shopcat. Hey, that's my rug. Stop. Just got to figure out when I'm going to roll that out. I was thinking about putting the rug here. Don't mind that. I was using that like just tossing stuff on it. I was in the process of cleaning up some other stuff, and it just made its way over there. So I wasn't actually cleaning. I was, well, fucking relocating. That's what us knife guys do. Like, oh, I can't throw that away. That's a receipt for this knife that I bought like 8 years ago. I want to keep that. Why? I have had this knife longer than I've had this YouTube channel, and I still have the receipt for this knife. Believe that shit? I don't. All right, guys, take it easy. I love y'all. I'll see you this afternoon. There's links. There's links in the bottom for all the tools, all the knives and stuff that I talk about, if I can find them. So I'll take it. I have an entire box of boxes. Yeah, it's bad. The habit is real. Guys, I love you all. See you at 4 p.m. Pacific. Be back here, and we'll watch the unboxing of all the stuff that Jared sent me. I will see you guys later.